All right. I think we are officially live. At least I think we are. So anyway, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, October 28th. It is 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you're watching this on the replay, well, welcome. And you should come join us here live. Well, if you can, that is. We are here 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And today we are going to be talking about planning a little bit. We're gonna look at your 30-day roadmap. I usually go through this myself as I plan things out, but I work in blocks, I work in chunks, I work on projects. And I think once we understand that we can work in these blocks, the overall thing doesn't look as big, right? The other thing is as you're going through this, you're starting to feel a sense of accomplishment. You're starting to see, wow, I'm actually making progress here. And from here, then we start to get a little bit of confidence. Then once we get confidence, we start to want to do more because we feel like we can do more. And I don't mean more in the sense that we're going to work 13-hour days. What I'm saying is we're going to get we're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. We're going to feel a sense of energy. We're going to feel excited that we're actually getting stuff done. We're not just consuming, we're actually doing. You guys hear me say that quite often. It's not always about consuming, it's about doing. It's about taking action, as I always say. So that's really what we're going to be talking about here today. And I do have some notes. I have some things that I want to walk you through so I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like, but I want you to always be thinking about, and this is how I always reverse engineer things, right? So a perfect example of this is when I just did the email list building fast track workshop. That could have seemed like a really big project, which in a sense it was, but I broke it down into almost phases or parts, right? The minimum viable product, we had that, right? That was like, okay, let's just get this thing done. Let's get it out there. Let's teach it. Let's promote it, but let's not go crazy on Facebook ads or running any type of paid ads or anything like that. Let's just kind of use our list and let them know about it. And then from there, we have to fulfill it, right? So what's it take to fulfill it? And then on the backside of that, once we get that all done, it kind of moves into part 2 or phase 2, where now we can build a fancier sales page. We can start to run Facebook ads. We can start to do those things, but it's broken down into these chunks, right? So that project is technically done, although we're moving into phase 2 or part 2. Then we'll come, with another 30-day roadmap. So it's always about somewhat working backwards, but we have to know what we're aiming at. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. I want to see who's joining me here today. We've got a few of you on here, which is awesome. Karen, what's up? And what's up, Brand Rocker? It's going to be a very busy day, cranking things out today. That's awesome. Woke up with a beautiful sky, beautiful morning today, and then it started raining outside, but that's okay. Anyway, Karen, what's up? Other Karen. We have 2 Karens, both in BCA, by the way, which, by the way, I should probably remind you guys, if you're listening to this or watching this before October 30th, we are open to the public for enrollment to Brand Creators Academy. So if you're at all interested, I should probably throw up that little banner that I created the other day, if I can find it here. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. brandcreators.com/join. If you go there, you will see the page that we created that gives all the details of what you can expect by becoming a member. And from there, you can join us. And we do this right here. We actually have a 30-day roadmap that is already built for people that join. If they're in the very beginning stages, like this is going to walk them through the first 30 days. Once that first 30 days happens, then we can go ahead and do another 30 days of the next part, the next step, right? Everything that we do, any trainings that we've done, it's always done in like, okay, today we're going to do this. Tomorrow you're going to do this. The next day we're going to do this, but everything builds off of each other. So we kind of reverse engineer what needs to be done. And then we break it down into steps. We also, what I call, chunk it down. So it makes it more of a bite-sized piece. It's not like this big, overwhelming task. So anyway, yeah, brandcreators.com/join. We are open right now. We're welcoming new members as we speak. Super excited. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. And this is what we do as well. We have our community that comes in. There's some community members in here right now, some of our tribe, as we call ourselves. hanging out on these coffee talks too. But inside, we get to help each other deeper. We get to really peel back the curtain, see inside of people's businesses, their niches that they're building their brands in, including ourselves and all of that stuff. So if you're interested, definitely join us. We'd love to have you. This will be the last open, by the way, that's public. We're going to be going to a more of a private invite and an application process. That's happening after Friday. This is our last time doing this. We're also doing it because we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary, which is, I believe it's coming up this week. I think we timed it to where it was well, let's see, September, October. Yeah, it's a year. It's exactly a year. So anyway, all right, cool. We got Phil in the house. What's up, Phil? How's it going? We've got, like I said, we've got the other Karen in the house, which is always good to see. D, what's up? Good morning to you as well. Let's see. Kate, good morning. Quick question. Do you have the paid version of Uber Suggest? Only getting like 5 lookups a day, and then I have to wait until next day for next 5. I think it's $29 a month. Yes, I do have the paid version of it. I didn't for a while, and then he made it, Neil Patel made it where it was a paid application now, and I got it when it was less expensive than $29. $29 for that tool, it's probably worth it, even if all you did was get it for 2 or 3 months. But you don't have to have it, but it is a nice thing to have, that tool. What's up, Derek? How's it going, man? Atlanta in the house. Cool. Oh, D says it gets easier once you get things done. It's just scary to get it started. This is true. What's up, Salma? What's up, iFly? Right. Let's see here. Good morning from New Jersey. Oh, Derek says I have to start scheduling because of my day job. Yeah, it's really important. It's really important when we are on a fixed time schedule, right? Like we have to get certain things done. And I was just thinking about this the other day. Some people would look and go, okay, Scott, I mean, you can do this stuff. You work from home. You don't have to leave your house. Everything you've done is online. You've never had to basically work late at night or get up early. You haven't read my book, right? And that book is the Take Action Effect. If you haven't read this book, you'll see very, very quickly. I worked a lot of late nights. I remember till this day, that I was working my day job, and I remember staying up one night because I wanted to build my website. I think I was learning Flash design, by the way, which I look back and I'm like, why did I spend so much time to try to get my website to look fancy, right? I learned a lot since then, but I spent so much time learning that and trying to get that thing right. And I remember one night I was just kept working on it. And before I knew it, I looked up and the sun's coming up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had to go to work, right? So I've done that. At times, if I have a project that's hitting a deadline, sometimes I'll still do it. I might have to stay up later or get up earlier. I try not to do that much at all. I try to really schedule it. But hey, man, when you're working a day job and the goal is to build this business so you can escape the day job, sometimes you got to do that stuff. Sometimes you got to do it. Let's see here. Oh, cool, D. Thank you for that. Join now. It's like you are in a mastermind. The holidays are coming. Get it now. Get your piece of the pie. Thank you, D. I appreciate that little endorsement, I guess, which I haven't paid D to say that. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, cool. Kate says, I joined Monday. Already very impressed with all the great info within the academy. Thank you. Appreciate that, Kate. And yeah, you haven't even been to one of the live calls yet. That's coming next week. So we have 2 monthly live calls every single week. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's plan out your next 30 days, okay? And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be going through an example. I'm going to kind of walk you guys through it, but I want you to really understand what we're doing here, okay? And again, we're always talking about how can we simplify this process? How can we simplify? How can we when we sit down, how can we sit down and know exactly what we should be working on? Also knowing what we're measuring it against, right? Like what are we working towards, and are we making progress? Because progress creates confidence. Confidence creates more action. Okay. All right. So I'm just getting to my notes here. I'm scrolling. Okay, here we go. So, and this is going to be an exercise I want you guys to do. I've kind of broken it down here. so you guys can kind of walk through this. All right. But the very first question that you need to ask yourself is this: where are you now and where do you want to go? Okay, that's the very first question. So again, you might want to do this exercise later, come back, skip to this part about 10 minutes in and come to this part right here. Sit down and really ask yourself, where am I now? Where do I want to go? Right? And you might be like, well, I'm just starting right now and I want to build my brand. Well, there's a lot of things that happen there, right? So what's the first thing that you need to do? Okay, that's where that next question will come in. So I gave some examples here. So we could say like, okay, like there's a whole bunch of different things to do, but what is the thing that you need to do, right? It might be something like this. I have a website with some content, but no traffic yet. It's 3 months old. I do 1 new blog post per week. All right. So let's say that you're up and running. You have a website. You've went through. You've created your home base, as we call it. You have that set up. The foundation is built. The house is built. Now we got to start filling it with furniture and decor and all of that stuff. Right. So let's say that you have that up and running, and that's a great foundation to have because everything's going to stem off of that. So you have a website. It's got some content on it. You've been, let's say, publishing content for 3 months. You've been doing 1 new post a week. That's awesome, but it's going to take a little bit longer, right? To get some traffic. I mean, the way that you have to think about content is it's long term, right? It's longer. Okay. So the question that I would move into another question, right? So you see how I'm asking questions? I'm asking myself questions, right? How do I get this, right? So the next question that I would ask is, okay, how can I get more traffic faster while I build my organic traffic? It's a good question. What could we do? Do you guys have any ideas what you could do? What could you do? Let's turn this into something that you guys could think through with me and maybe even give me something in the comments. What's something that we could do to speed up this process, but continue to build our organic traffic? Like, how could we do this? Okay. How could we get more traffic faster while I build more, or while I'm building my organic traffic? Like, what can I do? Okay. And I've got 2 things here that came to mind for me, and we have a long-term and a short-term. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sip of coffee, because this is a coffee talk, and I'm going to see what you guys come up with. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. All right. Gio, what's up? Gio says, Scott, where's your coffee? Okay. So Salama says Facebook ads. Okay. Maybe, but what are we going to do with the Facebook ads? Are you just going to drive them to your website? Right? Are we just going to drive our traffic to our website and get traffic? Like, what are we doing? What's the idea behind what we're doing? And what is the reason that we're going to run Facebook ads? And what are we going to run them to? Right? So that's the next thing we have to ask. Derek says the same thing, paid Facebook ads. Okay, great. So run that through with me. You're going to pitch this to me. You're going to say, hey, Scott, I think what we should do is we should start paying for Facebook ads and we should run traffic to our blog. Tell me, what should we do? Let's see. Kate, create a lead magnet landing page and advertise on Facebook. The goal is to build the email list, build the relationships. You're on to something now. Now we're talking, okay? Now, with that, I would take it a step further and I would say, okay, we've built we want to build an email list. We want to build that relationship, but we're going to direct that traffic now. Right? And we can do a lot of cool things with that traffic. So it's going to speed that up. Exactly right. Okay. Okay. So Salama says drive Facebook ads to a lead magnet. Perfect. Okay. We're going to walk through this too, by the way. Spread the word, tell your friends to share. If you don't have any money, create a lead magnet. Perfect. I like that. That's a free way of doing it. Perfect. Grind, right? Get out there and grind it out. And Derek says an offer. Okay. So Derek, are you saying then turn on Facebook ads, create an offer of some kind and drive people to that offer? Possibly. But if that's the only thing we're doing, we have to have more that we can do with that traffic. And then Derek says landing page of website post. Sure, we could do that. I've got a better idea though, but you guys are doing great. This is awesome. I love that you guys are going through this. You guys we're kind of brainstorming together. And by the way, this is what we do inside the Academy. We just had someone post 4 or 5 different titles for their ebook that they're going to be creating. And everybody voted on it and then gave feedback on it. Like, this is the type of stuff that we need to do more often because we get plugged in and we can get that back and forth stuff. Okay. Derek says, build an email list. Yep. This one here says Facebook user. I can't see who it is. Publish blog consistently and set up lead magnet to build email list, then build a digital product to offer your list and Facebook ads. We're getting close. We need to massage that a little bit. We need to tweak it a little bit, but you guys are on the right track. All right. So let me do this. Let me give you my thoughts after I take another sip. Okay. Here it is. So the very first thing is we do not want to stop being consistent on the content creation process that we've started, right? So if this is the case, now again, you might not be at the point where you're already publishing one piece of content every single week, which everyone should be doing at least one piece. That's 52 pieces of content for the year, okay? So that's kind of like the foundation, the base of, and then when we do build the email list, we have stuff to send them. We'll talk about that here in a minute, right? So we want to continue to produce the content because the content that's 3 months old now, in 3 months will be three months old on its own. And then that other content will be 6 months old. And then by that time, and 3 months later, that content will be 9 months old and the other content will be 6 months old. And then the new content will be new, but then there'll be a 3 month. See what I'm saying? We have a cycle there. So we want to keep that going because that is the long term, right? That's the long tail as we call it. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is we're going to build an email list, just like you guys said. So I'm going to, if I have a budget of, let's just say, I don't know, $300, I'm going to basically spend money to get my email list built. Now I would do what D said as well. I would always do that anyway. Even if I'm running Facebook ads, I'm going to go ahead and get my lead magnet, my landing page. I'm going to get that out to people that I think that would be my target market, whether that's going into Facebook groups and just being helpful. And then someone asks you a question and then they follow you over to your website. Like, that's how you can do it on a free side or on the free side. But in the same breath, it's going to require work to do that, right? Now I'm not saying Facebook ads don't take work. It's just, we can do it a lot quicker. And so the idea for me is, and that's why I created the email list building fast track workshop, is because the goal is to get to 500 subscribers. 500 to me, to get to 500 subscribers within 30 days is not that hard. We've actually done it where we've built lists anywhere from 700 in 30 days up to 9,000 in 30 days. But it just depends. But the idea here is that's going to be our asset. That's going to be our immediate traffic, that the minute that someone opts in, they get the lead magnet, they get an email from us. Now, immediately I can continue to send them emails, right? Now, so let's say I have one of those blog posts every single week. Guess what I send them every single week? The blog post. It's easy. Now, on the flip side, we can say, okay, we're doing that, but what about the content? Like, how am I going to actually turn that into dollars? Well, if you're thinking strategically, you might make one post every other week about different products that your market is using and consuming. If you are into woodworking, maybe it's 5 tools that you need as a beginner, and that post is going to be affiliate links. You have your email list, you send them to a blog post, affiliate links. You do not put the affiliate links in the email, by the way. You cannot do that. So yeah, don't do that. But do you see what I'm saying? That's how we can speed up this process. So how would it be if this was all that you did, right? You just said, you know what? All I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how to build my email list, get that email list, and then I'm just going to send them an email every single week. I'm going to schedule a time that every single week I'm going to do it, whether that's on a Monday, on a Tuesday, a Friday, doesn't matter. You schedule your time that you're going to write an email to your list on that day. And then from there, you're also publishing a new blog post every week. Obviously, you'll have to post that before you actually send it out. But if you already have blog content that's 3 months old, guess what? You've got a whole stockpile of content that you can send them. Okay. So that's how you speed up that process. All right. So if this is the case, then it's very simple. The 30-day roadmap. If you don't have an email list, guess what we're going to do over the next 30 days? We're going to build an email list. And then this is what that would look like. So let's say that you're starting from scratch and you're saying, Scott, this is exactly where I am. I've got about 3 months or 6 months worth of content. I've been publishing once a week, right? I have all this stuff there. I need to start building that email list. So let's just say that hypothetically, that's where you're at. So here's what we would say. Okay, we need 3 things. We need a lead magnet, we need a landing page, and we need traffic. That's all we need. So now let's break it down. Okay. The goal, okay, we always got to have that target, right? The goal is to build the email list, and the goal is to get it to 500 subscribers in 30 days, right? Build the email list to 500 subscribers in 30 days. There's my goal at the end of the 30 days. Okay. Now what do we got to do? We got to reverse back. We got to create that 30-day plan, that 30-day roadmap, which, by the way, inside of the email list building fast track workshop, that's exactly what we do in about 3 hours, and we map it all out. And if you are thinking about joining Brand Creators Academy as being an Academy member, you get that workshop for free. So a little shameless plug here for the Academy. If you're listening to this or watching this before the 30th of October, you can go to brandcreators.com/join. If you go there after the fact, it will be by application. So you'll have to fill out a little application, and then we will be periodically letting people in or sending them private invites. All right, so here we go. I've got, there's like 4 weeks that I'm going to give you right here. So again, I'm mapping it out, okay? So again, we established that we want to create an email list. We want to basically create, to do that, we need a lead magnet, a landing page, and traffic. Now we got to chunk it down. Week 1, identify and create the lead magnet, build a landing page, and connect to ConvertKit. Okay. And that's what I'm saying that I would be putting down as my week 1. That is all that I'm going to think about. So day 1 might be like, I'm going to spend an hour brainstorming my lead magnet ideas and getting some ideas from my marketplace on what out there is currently already being offered. And then just starting to do a little bit of digging, right? So that's day 1. By the end of day 1, in that hour or 2 or whatever you want to give yourself, you have to have one in the top of your mind that you're going to create. You have to have it. It could be a checklist. It could be a little PDF. It could be a blog post that you convert into a lead magnet. Whatever it is, it's got to be done. So it's like if you're in class, I'm like, guys, you got an hour today to work on this, and by the end of it, you got to have it picked. There's your homework assignment, right? And then you're like, okay, day 2, you would say, okay, now I got to create it. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do. So for that hour, you're either going to research people that are going to be able to help you build that, or you're going to create it yourself in Pages, or you can create it in, Word, inside of, your PC. You can hire it. You can use a designer tool. There's however you do it. I don't care. You got an hour basically to work on that for right then. Okay. Now you might need another day of another hour to do it. Okay. So there you go. There's 3 days. Now the next day on Thursday is going to be, you're going to build the landing page. And actually I show you guys inside of ConvertKit how you can do it in like 10 minutes. You can build a landing page like done, and even have that one email that's going to get sent and delivered. Like literally you can do it even on the free version of ConvertKit. So there's no excuses, right? But that's the thing that we're doing. Thursday is build landing page and create one email message that they're going to get after they opt in. Okay. And by that time, we're basically done for the week. But if you're like me, you're going to be like, well, I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay. So you can literally have all that done in 3 to 4 days, if not less. If you already have your lead magnet idea, because as I'm talking, you're like, I know what my lead magnet would be, then you can skip that first hour and start right away by creating it. So again, this can be as quick as this. It could be even quicker, but I'm just breaking it down so you can just go, okay, today is this, tomorrow is this, the next day is this. Okay. But by the end of that week, we need those things done. We need to identify the lead magnet. We need it created. We need a landing page built, and we need to connect it to our autoresponder, our email service provider, which in this case for me is ConvertKit. There it is. Okay. Week 2, moving on to week 2. Okay. post on my blog and social channels, just like D said. Okay, I'm going to go out there, and now that it's there, I'm going to go to my Facebook fan page. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my blog in the sidebar. I might put a little banner on top. I might add it to some blog posts that are relevant to it. I'm going to maybe go over to some Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I'm going to share it over there if they're cool with that. However I can do it on social. If I have an Instagram account, I'll put it there. If I have a Pinterest account, I'll make some pins for it. Whatever. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be self-promotion that day. Okay, I'm going to get it out there now. Okay, now the next day is going to be really setting up my first Facebook ad. I know it sounds scary. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to get scared. I mean, if you wanted to get like super simple and basic, you can just create a post on your Facebook fan page and boost it if you want. Right? You don't even have to go into the ad campaign manager. Now we do teach that. Chris Schaefer goes through and shows you how to set up. Basically, there's like 2 different types of campaigns, but he really shows you how to do it in a simple way. That also is where you can test different interest audiences and stuff like that. And you can do it for as little as $5 a day. Okay. So that's really, that week is going to be creating my ads. Okay. Which don't have to be hard. It could be it could be a picture of the book. It could be you holding it, right? Because you printed it out or something like that. So that's it. We just have to create that Facebook ad, which there's going to be some copy. There's going to be like, we have to have a title, or a hook. We want to promise, and then we want to call to action. That's it. We build the creative. Doesn't take that long. We'll take an hour. We'll sit down and we'll brainstorm. We'll actually look at other people's ads. We'll get ideas. Okay. But that's got to get done. Once that gets done, now we're ready to turn the ads on. Once we turn the ads on, now we're basically done with that part. Once we're done with that part, we're going to come back and go, okay, is there anything else that I need to clean up here? Is there comments that are coming in that I have to manage now? Okay. But that's all that's happening there in week 2. Okay. Now in week 3, we're going to write 1 email broadcast, just 1. Okay. Now a broadcast message, if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just me typing up an email and saying, I want to send it to my entire list. Okay. So by that time, you might only have 50 people on your list. You might have 25 people on your list. Doesn't matter. Write the email, send. And the reason why we're doing that is for 2 reasons. Why not send it to 25 people if that's all you have on your list? Why not? Number 2, it gets you in the practice of writing email and sending it and getting familiar with that. Right? We're exercising in a sense. Okay. So that's week 3. We're going to write that 1 email broadcast. The other thing that we're going to do, because that isn't going to take that long, is we're going to look at our Facebook ads and we're going to optimize those. And there's some different things that you need to look for in a Facebook ad, but you won't know until you start running it. You're going to say, oh, this audience didn't really work well. This one did really well. And you're going to start to tweak it. Not to mention, Facebook has a learning phase. They'll actually help you with it. Not even them coming to you, but their software basically helps you learn what is the best way to convert or to convert your, or to get a lead and your lead cost down. So that all happens in week 3. See, there's not that much to do in week 3. And in week 4, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write 1 email, okay, that broadcast email to that new blog post. And we're also going to respond to subscribers, because in that week, I would suggest you writing a very simple email. And I talked about it here on a coffee talk, a naked email, no links. I would just say, what is the number 1 thing that you need help with catching more bass? ? And then inside be like, hey, it's Scott. I just wanted to, check in with you, see if you had any questions, and really just what is the one thing that you wish that you could learn about catching more bass? I'm looking to create some new content here in the future, and I'd love your feedback. Let me know. Reply to this email. Take care. Have a great day. Tight lines, my friends. Whatever. Okay. That's it. And then people are going to start replying back to you, and then you're going to be typing back to them. This is where you can't scale that, but you don't want to. You want that feedback because this is going to give you ideas for a new blog post, for what they want, a new digital product. Okay. So all of that stuff happens in that period of time. So at the end of the 30 days now, you should have an email list, let's say 500 subscribers. You should have emailed those people at least 2 to 3 times. Okay. Your blog content is still happening because that was already happening on the back end. And if you were smart about it, you're creating some product-based posts that you can send them to. And especially now that we're coming into the holiday season, if people go over there to your blog post, they click on a link, they go to Amazon, even if they don't buy that product, they're cookied for 24 hours and you would get credit for that if you're an affiliate for Amazon. So that's the 30-day roadmap. Okay. So in the short period of time, we are creating an asset that we're going to be able to use over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. But people don't look at it as like, well, I'm paying money for that, I got to get that money right back. No, that's short-term thinking. We need long-term thinking. This is going to allow you to get traffic over to your website almost immediately. Well, it will be immediate, because if someone opts in, gets your lead magnet, and then you drive them over to a thank you page that's on your website, you've just taken them from here to here. And now in a week from now, you can send them another message. Okay. That's the 30-day roadmap in this example. Now, I'm just giving you an example. If you are looking to build a digital product, well, we got to do it differently now. Okay. Just like me, I did the email list building fast track workshop. That's a digital product now, by the way, right? But it started as a concept, and it started with me having to figure out what was the best thing to create for this audience, and then find out what they wanted to learn, and then figure out what are the 3 things that they need to know. In this case, it's lead magnet, landing page, traffic, and then break it down, and then kind of figure out what you're going to teach or what you're going to share inside of a blog post that can be turned into a digital product. Then we got to reverse that backwards. And that's it. That's all that we're ever doing in this, in these different blocks of time that we're working in. And I'm telling you something right now, when you do that, when you get all done, you're like, wow, that feels good. I actually got this done, and I feel good about that. And I feel confident now that I can write an email. I feel confident now that I can build a lead magnet. I feel confident that I could build a landing page. I feel confident that I got something done, and I'm an action taker. And then that starts to build on each other. Okay. It starts to really compound. So again, that's how you create your own personal 30-day roadmap. And then what happens after that 30 days? You do it again. You just look and say, okay, what's that next thing that I'm going to be working on? Right. And whether it takes 30 days or not, you might have 2 projects that are going to take 2 weeks each. Break them into 2 weeks. 14 days is this. Another 14 days is this. You can do that. But at the end of the month, what are you going to be able to look back and measure and go, oh, I did that. I got it done. Cool. Check. Okay. And then a lot of times that thing that you're doing will help you in the next thing that you're doing. Meaning, if you're building that email list, guess what? In 30 days, the next thing that you can do is start working on building a digital product. And one way to do that is to create different blog posts that could turn into your digital product. So you kind of double dip there a little bit. And then at the end of that, you can sell that product to your email list. See how that works? So there's a whole bunch of different things we can talk about as far as like building out these 30-day roadmaps, depending on where you're at. But 30 days is usually a good time frame. I'm a big believer in, yes, let's go ahead and see what our 12-month goal is. But I'm telling you right now, it's always changing. It's always moving. Where do you want to go? Even if you want to go 12 months, where do you want to be in 12 months? What do you want your website to be? How much traffic do you want to be getting? How much money do you want to be generating from that, from that website or from that brand? Okay. And how are you going to get there? And then from there, we got to reverse back. Then we break it down into 30-day blocks. And then we start taking action every single day in those 30-day blocks. And we get to measure it at the end of the month. All right. So guys, let me know, was this helpful? Did this help you guys at all? Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and see what we got going. Oh, we got a lot of people in here talking here. Okay, cool. All right. So let's see. Oh, publish blog and set up build raving fans. Yes, that's what you'll do. You'll build some raving fans. Here's the deal. Here's what people don't realize. If you have the mindset that you are serving a market with helpful, useful information, I don't care if it's, as simple as you help someone unclog their sink, right? Like if you did something like that, you still delivered value to the marketplace. Now, of course, I would like it to be different than that. I always talk about the bass fishing market. If you help someone catch a bass on their next outing and they've been trying for 3 weeks, and even if you just gave them that one little tip and they tried it and it worked, you're a hero to them. And then they're going to come back for more. I know that's how I work. Like I look at someone that I want to learn from, or I want to look, like there's so many different diets out there. There's so many different, like, are you keto? Are you vegan? Are you, gluten-free? Like all of these different, like at the end of the day, like we want to eat good and we want to eat whole foods and all of that stuff. But once you start following someone or a company that has similar beliefs and they're talking about things that you want to achieve in the future, it makes you feel more connected to the brand. Okay. So yes, building a loyal fan base is next level, but you can do it by building the email list first, and then you create those raving fans. Okay. By showing up, delivering value, being helpful, and not always selling. That's the key. Not always selling. Okay. Let's see. What is the question again? Okay, let me go back. So the very first question is this. Where are you now and where do you want to go? Okay. And that might be a 12-month thing, right? Like, where are you now? Where do you want to go? What are you trying to achieve? Okay. And map that out, like write it down. And then from there, look at, okay, what's the first thing that needs to happen in order for me to start working towards there? Okay. If I'm going to build a house right here, but there's no road yet, there's all trees in here, what's the first thing that I have to do? I got to cut down trees. I got to have this lot cleared, and I got to have a road paved to come on in here. It logically, everything goes in a sequence, but a lot of people look at the whole thing and go, okay, well, I got to build the house. I should probably know what color my shutters are going to be before I build my house. No, we don't need to know that yet. Okay. So it always kind of comes down to, like, there's logical steps that have to happen first. So that's what I'm asking you to really see, like, where are you now? Where do you want to go? Let's call it 12 months. And then let's work backwards. What's the first thing that you need to do? And like, if you don't have the website yet, that might be the first thing. Or maybe it's going to build the list as you're building your website, because that way there you can let people know that you have a new website and they can go check it out. Either way works for me. But both of those things are going to need to be done. They have to be done. Okay. We can build a list without having a website. We can totally do that. But we do want a website because we want to control our traffic. Once it gets there, we want to control that experience, period. Okay. So hopefully that helped you. And then, yeah. So then once you ask that question, I gave an example of, like, if someone said, I have a website with some content, but no traffic yet, 3 months old. I do one new blog post a week. And it would be like, okay, how do I get more traffic to my website? Because I know if I get more traffic, then the opportunities for revenue open up. Okay. So how do I do that? And the first thing that comes to mind for me is, well, I want to build an email list so I can drive traffic there. Plus, I also know in the back of my mind that I'm going to be able to take that email list and I'll be able to make offers to those people later. So that was the question, Kate. Evergreen. Okay. So yeah, the word evergreen gets thrown around out there quite a bit. Evergreen means that it's going to be out there in the world and it's going to be available all the time. Okay. So Brand Creators Academy is technically not evergreen to everyone. Okay. We are putting a filter, a barrier for people to get in on purpose. Now, with that being said, we're building evergreen assets that surround the academy that will also act as filters in order to get in. Okay. Those will be evergreen. We're not going to open and close those. No reason to. Okay. If someone wants to come in, if they want to spend $37, $47, whatever we're charging at the time, they can get access to that one thing that will help them in that one part of their business. And then they could get an invite to come into the academy. Or maybe they're going to bounce to another workshop that will be evergreen, right? Then we can start to run ads. We can start to acquire customers, which are our academy members. They're technically customers. They're our family. We look at them as family members, but they are paying to be in there. So can we create these assets that are evergreen, that are producing income, but the income is really allowing us to reach more people, to bring people into the academy? And that's it in a nutshell. What would the 30-day plan, excuse me, look like if just starting and creating a lead magnet still? I'd finish that. That's it. So basically, if you're just creating the lead magnet, the next part. So for the next 30 days, you shouldn't be thinking about building your website. You shouldn't be thinking about creating a YouTube video. You shouldn't be thinking about building your Facebook following. You shouldn't be worrying about any of that stuff. What you should be worrying about is lead magnet, get it created. Landing page, get it created. Traffic, turn it on, right? Once we get done with that, then you're like, cool, okay? But now you might be saying, well, Scott, I don't have anything to send them. Send them other people's stuff. Nothing wrong with that. And people are like, but I'm sending them away from my stuff. But you don't have any stuff yet. Just deliver value. Be a resource to your market. Just be a resource for your market. Okay. Be that person that's like, that people would be like, hey, do you know where I can find the best painter? And you're like, actually, yeah, there's like three people I know. They're really good. And I've had some work done. And I also have some friends that have had some work done. They're really good. Here they are over here. I'll send you their information. That's all we're doing. But then as soon as you get that email list built, your next part is going to be building that website and building out your content. And that's it. Okay. But right now, if you've already started the email list build, finish it. You got to finish it. Because if you don't finish it, you're going to feel like I never finish anything. And then you're going to beat yourself up. And then you're going to feel, like defeated in a sense. Accomplishing what you set out to do, I don't care if it's this big, it starts to build momentum because it's confidence. It's a confidence builder. You get excited, and that just builds more momentum. Okay. Derek, don't forget your coffee. Thank you. All right, cool. Let's see. D, question. Can I send an email of someone else's YouTube video that I find educational, funny, or interesting? Is there any copywriting issues with that? And can I do that also on my blog post? You absolutely can. There's no copyright infringement on that because you're not putting it on your website saying it's your video. I'll tell you what, if you want to take this coffee talk and you want to share it with people, you want to send it to your list, send it. I'd love you to. That'd be amazing. No one's going to get upset with you as long as you're not saying that's mine, right? You're not doing that. You're like, hey, I found this really awesome video. I'm going to actually try this out my weekend. I thought you'd get a kick out of it. Here it is. That's it. And then inside of that, you might want to say, hey, if you have, if you have any cool resources that you've come across, send them my way. Reply to this email. I'd love to hear from you. And then they'll start sending you stuff, and then you can use that stuff if you want to in the future too. So yeah, if you're creating blog content, it's great to take other people's content and embed it in there, because then it also looks to Google like you're not just having your own stuff on the site, you're actually linking to other people's stuff, which is another cool thing when it comes to like SEO stuff. Leslie, what's up? Good to see you. Scott, do you only email your small list when you have something to give them, like an ebook or a checklist? I'm not sure I understand that. Scott, do you only email your small list when you have something to give them, like an ebook or checklist? I don't know what you mean by that, Leslie. I don't know why I would only send it to those people. Why wouldn't I send it to everyone? Why wouldn't I give everybody the opportunity? If I'm giving a checklist away, they're signing up for it. If they're on my list already and I'm creating a new lead magnet, I might just let them know I got something new for you and give it to them, just as another thing of why you want to be on my email list. So yeah, I'm not sure I understand that question completely. Let's see. How is your back? Hope it's better. Yeah, it's actually a little bit better. Thank you for asking. And for you guys that are just tuning in, Monday, I woke up just randomly, just my lower back had a little bit of a back spasm. I've been taking it easy. Not doing any working out or anything right now. I'm still walking every morning, doing all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm taking it easy. I'm not going to do anything crazy this week, which is hard for me to do, by the way. My wife's she's always telling me, Scott, come on, just give it a little bit more time. And I want to get stuff done. That's the way I'm wired. As you guys can tell, 30-day roadmap, right? Get stuff done, finish stuff. I'm a finisher. There's a lot of people that aren't, I want to talk about this real quick. There's a lot of people that aren't finishers. They love starting things, but they don't finish it to completion. If that's the case, you have to surround yourself with people that will help you finish, okay? Or you need to have people finish it for you. You got to pay them then. If you don't have money to pay them, you got to do it yourself, okay? Or if you just don't want to do it, pay someone, okay? Or become a finisher, right? I have always been like that. I do not like to leave a project unfinished, whether that's a business project or my house. Right. I've got, old friends of mine that I would go to their house. They'd start their kitchen and 3 years later, the kitchen's still kind of like hanging apart. Like it got, there's still the cabinet doors still got to get put on, but they're still putting dishes in there. Their counter is waiting for the countertop to come in. So they have just like some plywood sitting there. That's like been about 3 months. I can't operate that way. I'm shutting everything down until I get that done, right? Example, I'll give you guys a recent example. I recently, in my house here, like we had floors and everything put in at our lake house. I love them. They're like these, what is it? LPV is what it's called, I believe. It's a luxury vinyl flooring. It's like really, really high end. And the stuff is amazing because it wears really good. Well, I've got dogs and we have hardwoods. So I'm like, I really like to put that in here. And I'm like, it's not that hard. I've done this stuff. And you know what? It's weird at this time in my life, doing little projects, actually, it's kind of like therapy for me because I get away from thinking about business all the time. So I go, I'm going to tackle this myself. And so I ended up doing it. And again, for like 3 days, I didn't do anything. All I did was that. Got to take the baseboard off. Right? All the baseboards out in the garage. What do? I go out, I finish painting it. I put it all up one day, right? The floor got done in 2 days. About it. One day I worked on it. Another day I worked on it. And by the end of the week, it's done. Some people would do half the floor and leave it for a month. It's not how I operate. I'm a finisher, right? So you got to finish. All right. You got to finish the job. And which, by the way, I used to do a lot of like work on my knees and up on roofs and stuff like that. And man, it's been a long time, but my knees were killing me. They were killing me. My back was a little sore too, but, and that was like 3 weeks ago. I ended up doing that. But anyway, yeah, that was helpful. Cool, D. Does the steps to something work better than avoid mistakes for a lead magnet? Oh, I see. Either one works. Like 5 things to avoid or 5 foods to avoid for better gut health. That would be a good one because you want to know what to avoid. Again, I would test it. I would do one where you're avoiding something and one where you're going to gain something. Test them, test them side by side. Or you know what? Start with one. Just start with one. Pick one. Like right now, I'd say, Salma, pick one. What one's it going to be? And then you would say whatever it's going to be. All right, let's see. We're going to wrap this up here soon as well. So let's see here. Okay, we got another question here. Oh, sound went out, someone said. Why are you going app route? Oh, for membership. Because I want to protect the community. That's why. I don't want to just let anyone in at any time without going through some type of filter. The one thing that I am not a fan of is just doing like these dollar trials to get people in. I've done that in other memberships that I've run, and it always results in people either didn't realize that they were going to be billed in 30 days, or you get people in there that are just tire kickers. They're just going to take up space. So I decided with Brand Creators Academy, I was not going to do dollar trials or, any type of like thing like that. And the reason is because that is our premium place. That is our premium place. I don't care if it's 1,000 people, right? I want it to be small, intimate. I want it to feel like you're in a family. I want it to be like it's a mastermind. And I want to be able to give it as much attention as I can. It's what I am protecting. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you're not protecting those other things, but those other things don't have a community element around it. Okay. So if I'm doing the email list building fast track workshop, you can buy it. You can go through it. There's no like community support attached to it. Okay. But you can take it, consume it, do it. You're off. Okay. It's also a great way for me to filter people that come through. If you paid $37, $47, whatever it is at the time, you pay that, you've already taken yourself from here to here as far as qualified, because it shows that you're willing to invest in your business, period. Right. So that's why. That's the reason why. So just make sure we take one step before proceeding. Yes. Sound went out. Sound, is it back? Kate says it's good on my end. How do you check others' lead magnets on Facebook? Oh, it's really cool, actually. If you go to anybody's fan page, there's an area there that says page transparency. You can click on that. It'll take you over to the ads that are running currently. There's also, if you just search for Facebook ads library, I think it is, you can go there. It's like a search engine, and you can just type in your niche, and you can kind of see what other people are running currently. Let's see. Oh, Leslie said, by the way, read your book last week. Excellent. Loved it. Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. Can you talk again about what happens after we do the 30-day roadmap? You said do it again. Do you mean that we came up with a new lead magnet, create a lead magnet page? Well, no. If the only way, and that process would be a lot faster once you've already been through it. No, I'm not saying repeat the same thing you just did. I'm saying now we're going to move on to the next thing. So I'll give you another example. Let's say that was your first 30 days, but you haven't built your website yet. The next 30 days is going to be get my domain name picked and purchased, get my hosting, get my WordPress installed, and write my first blog post. That's going to be the next 30 days. Okay. And then after that, we can repeat that one a little bit, because then the next one would be like, create 4 blog posts this next month. What do I need to do? I need to do keyword research to figure out what those 4 are going to be. I need to either write them myself or have them hired out. I need to find images, right? I need to optimize my blog posts. I got to do them for SEO, right? All of that stuff, that would happen then. So see what I'm saying? We're going in that order. But again, if you already have the blog set up, then maybe it's the email list. If you don't have anything set up, maybe you're going to start with the blog and then build the email list later. It doesn't matter in the order of those. They're both going to have to get done. But the, wherever you figure out where you want to start, just start there and do 30 days working on just that, just that part. So hopefully that helped. Not finishing the life of an entrepreneur. That is why you should start BCA. Yay. Thank you, Karen. Great group to not only help you on your journey, but also someone to help hold you accountable. Isn't that a big one? Holding yourself accountable. There's even myself at times, like I need someone to be like, hey, when's the last time you worked out? And be like, oh, I was really good up until last week, but then we went away. And then when I got back, I couldn't get back into it. And they'd be like, yeah, you should probably get back into it. I'd be like, yeah, I know. Right. So they're there to kind of remind you what you're supposed to be focusing on. So it's like a workout partner. Same idea. But yes, thank you, Karen. And yes, I do think that our group is absolutely amazing for accountability and support and love and all of that stuff that we do there. It's like a big giant family. It's a big giant mastermind. It's really what I look at. Is the reason we do it again is to continue to build an email list? Well, yeah. So part of that would be like, once you have that all built up, then it's like, okay, how do I get more traffic? Like, that's it. So you don't have to, it's not about like having another lead magnet. And I wouldn't suggest doing 4 lead magnets. I'd say get 1 or 2, test them, see which one outperforms, and then take the other one and just kind of push it to the side and focus all your energy on the one, and then start really writing to your email list and starting to engage with those people and getting feedback with those people. That's what I would be working on. So it doesn't mean that you have to like, okay, keep, every month is going to be like 30 days of building your list. No, once you have that thing built, it's like a machine. It's going to continually build. If you turn off ads, yes, it will slow down. But if you have blog traffic, you might be getting 5 or 10 or 20 emails a day all the time. Fresh people coming in. That's why we want to build our own blog content and our traffic. Derek, have you decided on a date for product creation workshop? We have not decided on a date. I have been thinking about it. We're inside of the promotional window for Brand Creators Academy, so I'm not letting myself get there, but it will be in the first part of November. That I will say. So yeah, we'll be letting you know on that, Derek. Kate, okay, got it. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, no problem. You make it all sound so easy. Well, you know what? It is easy. It's it's simple. Okay. Not necessarily easy, although it is easier than people make it out to be. Like, people overcomplicate it because they try to overthink everything. Okay. You don't have to overthink. You have to just do something. And then from there, you're going to be able to ask the next question. But if you don't do the thing, we can't ask the next question. Okay. I have to get unstuck and finish the lead mag. Well, I'm giving you that accountability piece. By next week, this time, you should come back here and report back to this Coffee Talk crew and tell us that you did. Okay, that would be an accountability piece for you. Kate says, yes, he does. I like the step-by-step process, breaking it down and making it simple, easy peasy, yard by yard. It is hard, inch by inch. It's a cinch. Oh, I like that. That's good. That's a good one. I really like that. All right, cool. So guys, that is going to wrap up this Coffee Talk. I will be back on Friday. We will do our jam session. I already have the topic picked out. I think you guys are going to like this one. And it kind of leads itself into maybe something you can do in a short period of time, or this also works where you can do it, even after this. But what are best email promotion strategies during the holidays? How does that sound? Once you get that email list, you start approaching a holiday season, guess what you get to do? You get to spend some time planning out in your planning as far as promotions and your strategy. And you should be, because now is the time to take advantage of that. We have Black Friday, we have Cyber Monday, and we just have regular old Christmas or, the New Year coming out. We have reasons to send promotional emails. People are conditioned for it, and now is the time to do it. So I'm going to go through, give you guys some thoughts on that. Also, I will give you guys some ideas and some strategies that you can deploy. So this way here, you can take that email list and start sending them things. And you can do it in a way that's not just salesy. You can do it in a way that you're still delivering value, but you're still able to offer something. And I'll give you guys some different situations here on how you can do that. How does that sound for a jam session? Does that sound cool? Do you guys want to talk about how to market to your email list and how to send promotions and really how to compress that down so you can add all of the different elements that make people actually want to buy? Does that sound good? Does that sound something you'd be interested in hanging out and talking about? Hopefully you do. Let's see here. Gio, these coffee talks have been great in keeping me in check and motivated. Entrepreneurship can be lonely roller coaster ride, and the BCA team is really helpful. Thank you, Gio. And yeah, I believe it is. And it's not on me and it's not on Chris. It's on the community. The community is there to help and support each other. And that's what I love about it. And again, if you guys are interested in joining and you haven't yet, well, we're open to the public. Last time we'll be open to the public without an application and without having a private invite. And you can just head on over to brandcreators.com/join, and you can do that there. And Karen says, yes, we need holiday ideas. I am doing a brain dump this week. Figured out what direction I'm going. Sounds good, Karen. I like that. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. I will see you back here Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And if you're listening to this or watching this after the 30th of October, you can still head on over to brandcreators.com/join. And from there, you will see all of the details about Brand Creators Academy. And also, if it's something that you're thinking at the time that you'll want to potentially join us. And if you do, there will be an application there for you to fill out. It's not long. It won't take you that long. We just need some information to make sure that you are ready and you are the right fit for the group. All right. So that's it, guys. Have an awesome, amazing day. As always, take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon, guys.